Yo, what's up everyone? YK Anime back again with another video. And today, it's been a while again. I don't know why I take forever to upload videos, but today we'll be doing what if Naofumi had solo leveling. So to start this off, everything's pretty normal. The heroes get summoned, and yeah, it's pretty normal until when Naofumi suppose got tricked into well, I'll say manipulated into falling in love with whatchamacallem, Malty, and she says that he raped her, yada yada yada, all the same. So this time, instead of Naofumi leaving, Naofumi actually charges at the king in anger. So the gods go to kill Naofumi, and before Naofumi actually gets killed, a huge panel thing appears in front of his face, saying, I forget what he says in solo leveling, but whatever. I'll just try my best. If I'm correct, I think I don't know, but it said something like a journey to become strongest. I'm not sure, from weakest to strongest. And it says if you do not accept, you'll die in 0.3 seconds. Which Naofumi looks around to see that time has stopped completely, but he still can't move. So Naofumi doesn't know what to do. So he accepts it, and he loses memory of this, and he runs straight to the king, and all the guards charge at Naofumi, and the spear hero, who's behind, charges straight at Naofumi since he's a high level. He actually stabs Naofumi in the back, and Naofumi is killed there. So the king gets angry at this. So he does dispose of Naofumi's body in an alleyway, and a week later Naofumi wakes up and he sees this strange guy standing in front of him, this really fat guy, and this guy is like, "Hey kid, are you okay?" He's trying to help Naofumi out, and he says that he's a traveling merchant, and yada yada yada. I'm not actually sure if he's a traveling merchant. So then the same conversation that happens in the normal anime happens here. He ends up buying Raftalia, and Naofumi goes into the city, and he sees the blacksmith. The blacksmith sees Raftalia, and he charges at Naofumi. He grabs Naofumi and throws him against the wall and says that you have another girl to rape or something like that. And he says, yeah, she's just my slave. I just need her to do my work. And like the anime, the blacksmith actually believes him and does the same. And this time, Naofumi checks his pockets, and he still has the coins in the money, the silver. So he has approximately around 600 silver. So, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. So that's how he actually bought Raftalia. So he buys better gear this time, and yeah. So he teaches Raftalia how to think, and then now, as Naofumi is thinking or something, a weird panel reappears in his face, and then he's confused at what it is, and he asks Raftalia if he can see it, and he probably thinks it's one of the magic used for the heroes, and he just ignores it, and it still appears in his face, and it's telling him to do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, a 10-kilometer run, and Naofumi just thinks that this is a joke and tries ignoring it, and he ignores it for 4 hours at least, and it's time to go sleep, and all of a sudden Naofumi is just teleported into a hole in a desert. Naofumi turns around to see a giant centipede, and he sees the panel again, and it says survive for 5 hours or 4 hours, not pretty sure. And Naofumi does this, and all of a sudden, 4 hours later, Naofumi survives, and he does escape, which gives him a level up, if I'm correct. And he sees Raftalia, who seems to be having a bad dream, and the same happens. He comforts her, and yeah. So they go to a cave where Naofumi finds the rope, and the daily quest appears. He gets the airstrike shield, and the daily quest appears for him to do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, a 10-kilometer run. So that's what Naofumi does before he actually enters the cave, and he does the 10-kilometer run, and he tells Raftalia to wait. Raftalia waits. He comes back. They go in the cave. They find that two-headed dog thing. Raftalia kills it. They get XP, and Naofumi, who has completed the quest, decides to get a reward. So he sees the reward. He gets a status recovery. So he gets a gift, which he opens, and he gets a key. So Naofumi is pretty confused with this, and so when he goes to sleep again, he doesn't tell Raftalia where he's going. She just falls asleep, and Naofumi uses that key, and a dungeon appears in front of him. He walks through it, and the first thing he sees is a red wolf, which has a name of it, Steel-Fanged Wolf, and the name is in red, so he thinks that this is a rarity thing. So it's probably gonna be like a gray rarity and yada yada yada, like a normal video game. So he gets the title. He kills a lot of them. This time because he has the shield. It's a bit yeah. So he earns the title Wolf Slayer, and he gets the fangs and he sells them. Oh, one last thing, he can actually, because in the world he can actually convert the money he earns in the leveling system, or solo leveling, and can convert it into gold according to how much it is. But I would say he can convert it into gold, because solo leveling takes gold. So yeah, the same happens as the main character in solo leveling, and he finds this huge giant snake, and so he realizes that he can't penetrate it, so he uses brute force to break through the snake and just kill it. And so in the anime, for solo not for solo leveling, hopefully there is one for Rising of the Shield Hero, he's not allowed to get any weapons. So the system pretty much instead of giving him like the sword, which the main character Sung Jin Woo actually earns in the manhwa, actually he gets like a fang sword, but in this one it instead of giving him the fang sword, it gives him armor, pretty much. So he gets really good armor. This is called snake scale armor, and it allows him to pretty much steal people's health if they attack him directly. If they don't have, if it's not a weapon, so if they try punching him, it's gonna steal their health. So yeah, pretty much. And the anime time skip that happened originally in the anime happens here, and it cuts to a bigger Raftalia, is a bit older. Everything happens the same. They go to the church or whatever. Same thing happens. The other heroes appear. So they find out that Naofumi is still alive, and this shocks everyone. So Motoyasu is like, "What the hell? How are you still alive?" And he tries striking Naofumi, but Naofumi uses his shield. His shield is pretty strong, and oh yeah, one last thing. When he levels up in the leveling system, he also levels up in the actual magic level thing that they use in the anime. So by this point, Naofumi is at least a few levels higher than the three cardinal heroes, and Naofumi stops the shield, and mine who's watching. Wait, no, I don't know. The princess who's watching realizes that Naofumi has a strange looking armor set, and she's shocked at this. She's like, "How did he get that that armor. I thought he lost all his silver trying to give me armor, and so pretty much everything happens the same. But they're still confused on how Naofumi's still alive. Motoyasu thought he killed him, and Motoyasu flirts with Raftalia, which pisses off the princess, and yeah. So the waves are getting ready to start, and everything in the anime pretty much happens. Yeah, it's pretty much the same, but it's a bit easier for now for me to take down the wave and the monsters that appear in it, and they save the village like normal in the anime, and yeah. So after the waves end, Naofumi actually decides to rest because he's pretty tired after he just defeated so many monsters, and the panel appears in his face again, and it tells him to get a job. Well, not in an insulting way, a job quest, I would say. So Naofumi accepts, and he instantly gets teleported to this like a castle place, and he sees a chair. So he's confused. He thinks he got teleported to the actual king's throne, but no, he isn't. He sees a knight who's just standing, a red knight who's standing there, and Naofumi looks at the name. His name is Igris, and at least the name above him is colored in red, so he's pretty strong. A darker red, I would say. So Naofumi is pretty shocked at this, and he's like, "Wait, am I gonna have to fight this guy?" So Naofumi walks closer, and Igris instantly charges at Naofumi. Naofumi puts his shield to block him, his attack, but it ends up hitting Naofumi, and he gets lodged. And Naofumi sees Igris, and he goes to pick up a sword, and Naofumi is like, if his punch is so strong, I better not get hit by that sword. And Igris charges at Naofumi, and Naofumi is fighting for his life, right? And Naofumi doesn't have a sword, which in the manhwa, Sung Jin Woo, the main character, obviously had, which made him kill Igris. So Naofumi finds a way to actually beat the hell out of Igris, and using brute force, he actually uses his shield to break right through the armor of Igris, and successfully does it. He ends up killing Igris, and he looks up to see the job quest has now begun. So he says, "Damn it, that wasn't it." So he sees these more knights start to appear, but these ones are a bit weaker than Igris. So Naofumi does successfully take down a few. He does survive for a while, but he's starting to lose all of his health, pretty much. And like the manhwa, he gets teleported for not actually doing his quest. His missions practically to 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups. He actually didn't do it, so he gets teleported, and he's forced to survive. And he goes to the store, and he ends up buying. He searches for shields, and he does buy shields, which he ends up buying one shield, which pretty much allows him to summon swords. This is the shield that actually came up by myself. So he's able to shoot out swords out of this shield, pretty much. And so yeah, and Naofumi survives the 5 hours, and he instantly gets teleported back. And Naofumi starts to pretty much beat these I would say knights, and then he starts to see mages appear, which this actually gives him a harder time, but he does in the end successfully survive. He offers the job as necromancer, normal, as the same as Sang Jinwoo, and Naofumi is actually skeptic about it. Like he could, if he refuses, this might be his last chance, but he does accept it normally. He it tells him that he levels up due to how high level he actually is. So he goes from necromancer to shadow lord. So now for me, actually goes to the dead knights that he recently killed, and he reads the description of necromancer, and it says, if he says arise to the dead creature, it will come back to life as a shadow. So now for me goes to the dead knights and says arise, and half all of them pretty much, well, not all of them, pretty much become shadows. This shocks now for me, and he's like, this power is actually pretty good. And he goes to Igris, and he breathes in, he breathes out. He says arise, but it actually doesn't work for him. He says he has to remove a few of his soldiers, and he removes around 11. He says arise, it seems to not work. He says that he has at least 2 more tries left. So now for me, he says arise again, one last time, and it fails again, and he has one last try left, and he says stop uh, protecting the throne of your lord who has already left it. So, and he says arise, and Igris is, well, as comes to life as a shadow. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it here. This video is getting pretty long, and yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed. Like for part 2. If you're really enjoying the series, let's get this to 10 likes. I don't know. I'm sorry for going for long. It's just that school work is pretty hard, and my school actually is about to start, so it will take a while for me to actually start making videos again. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.